Hey guys, in this video we're going to paint this flower with the Paisley. Just make sure you get some of your paint scooped out onto your plate. Don't need all of it, just get a little to start. Can always get more. I've got a jar of water to clean my brushes, and I've got an assortment of brush sizes. Also, you're going to need a paper towel to dry your brushes after cleaning, and a Sharpie, because we're going to do some outlining so we can paint right over top of things and not lose our line. And I do recommend an actual Sharpie brand permanent marker in black. I can't say for sure if other brands won't bleed. I know this one is safe. So I'm just gonna quickly go around the outside. I'm just gonna trace over all the pencil. I'm not doing a perfect job. It will be fine. Oop. My Sharpie is on its last leg. It's drying out. That's all right. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I'm just gonna work on all the background color first. I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down. I'm gonna use this medium-sized brush, and I'm just gonna start with some yellow. And I'm gonna focus mostly in the areas that would be between, but I don't need to be real careful. I can be messy. Because look, I can see those lines great. And I'm gonna start kind of blending in a little bit of white. So yellow, I'm gonna get over here, make sure you get this side here, and try to keep your strokes kind of level. So you want, this way, don't kind of come in and color. You wanna do long strokes. And keep going with yellow. And I'm gonna just take in white on my dirty brush. I'm just kind of blending that through. It just softens it a little, so it's not quite so bright. I'm gonna just keep going down. I'm probably gonna do yellow till about here. So let's just say at the bottom of this flower. I'm just gonna bring it across. Little white in my paint as I go. And actually, because the yellow is such a light color, if you didn't Sharpie, probably still see everything just fine. The pencil would show. I'm just afraid down here in the darker areas with that red, it might not so much, because we're gonna be blending down to a red. So we've got a yellow chunk, and we're gonna kind of do orange, and then it's gonna fade into red. So there, I've got yellow. I'm just gonna take some white on my dirty yellow brush. I'm gonna come and do a little bit lower down, getting in here. So this part gets kind of a very light yellow. Not super light, but it gets lighter. And now I'm just gonna start adding in a little bit of red, blending through this. You wanna make sure this area is nice and wet. Your paint is nice and wet. Otherwise, the red is not going to blend in very well. So I'm gonna keep going with a little bit more yellow right on top to help get it to a nice orange shade. Some more yellow. And get a little bit more red. Maybe more yellow. And up here to get this line softened, because it's a very distinct line. I want that to look more blendy. So I'm just white on my brush and back and forth, and then I'm just gonna push it up into the yellow. And as I work down, I'm gonna start getting more red in. And you want your lines to stay nice and level. It's kind of hard. I'm on the side of the painting here. I'm assuming my lines are straight, but my angle kind of distorts it, so I can't be positive that I'm straight, but try to stay straight. I'm just gonna keep going with red. I never cleaned out my brush, so I'm getting a little bit of like the yellow and some oranges mixed in, and that's perfectly fine. It helps with the blend. So this last bottom part, I'm gonna go and just get it all with red. But I am gonna put a little bit of the dark blue blended into that. And it's gonna kind of make it a dark red purpley color, ideally. So I've got this all filled in, dirty brush, take a little bit of blue on my brush, and at the bottom, I'm just gonna start blending that back and forth and just work it up. More red on my brush, just to help get it to blend. And I'm just back and forth, getting the color to smush together and blend. A little bit more red. There, that looks good. Okay, so now we can start filling in all the fun shapes and designs. We do want this to be nice and dry before we start. I will blow mine dry, and of course I don't have my blow dryer over here, so just hold on. Sorry about that. I needed the extension cord yesterday. I was sitting here doing pickup for everybody. They were coming to get their kits. I needed it because my phone was dying, so I needed to, you know, have something to do while I waited. Okay, so I got my blow dryer hooked up, ready to go. I'm just gonna blow this dry so I can move on. That should be good. So I'll just start up here and just work my way down. This flower, we're just gonna get all the base colors in to start. And I'm gonna do a nice dark purple for the center there. So I'm gonna mix red and blue. I'm gonna add just a smidge of white. Got this deep purpley color. Any shade is fine. I just kind of want something dark. So if your shade isn't just like this, that's fine. Just make sure that it's fairly dark. And I'm just gonna get this whole center part filled in. Okay. Next, let's do this paisley. Well, let's do these petals. I'm just gonna move all over the place. I'm cleaning out my brush, drying it off. I'm gonna do these petals a nice like blue turquoise color. So blue and turquoise stirred together. Be a little bit more blue. And I'm gonna make quite a bit of this because I'm gonna be using this color in some other places too. So I want, you know, a pretty good sized pile. I don't want to have to make the color again as it won't match. So about like that, maybe just a little bit of white stirred in. That just helps give it better coverage. I'm gonna get the petals here all filled in. My brush wasn't perfectly clean. I'm getting a little bit of yellows and things kind of in there, but that's okay. I just spread it around and it blends through. Make sure you're getting that Sharpie line covered, especially on the outside edge. And one more here. And try not to have any globs. You want your paint nice and thin and even, no thick spots. I'm also going to paint this paisley the same color. And again, make sure you get the Sharpie line covered. Try to smooth out any thick spots. And this whole viney thing, I'm also going to paint this turquoise color. So I'll just, might want a smaller brush. Definitely for the little swoopy doops. I'm gonna flip this just because I can't get at the base of this very well. And I'm gonna switch to my smaller brush just so that my lines aren't super thick. So I've got this brush, and that will be about the width that I want to do these lines. So same color. And just make sure you get over that Sharpie. You don't want that showing. Oops, I got a weird blip there. I got pretty thick. My little bubbles here are gonna have to change a little. Try not to be as wide as I did here, but it'll be fine. I don't know why I'm struggling so. I'm a little shaky. Try to get these thick spots smoothed out. Okay, you've got that done. And you can go back in if you want and kind of, where it's dry, just kind of give it another quick coat. We are going to layer on top, so it's really not going to be that noticeable if you've got some streaks. So don't really sweat it too much. Okay, so let's do this guy here. I'm going to do that a nice bright pink. So it's going to be red with a little white mixed in. Get my brush cleaned out. So a little red stirred in with some white, maybe more red than that. Sorry, I probably can't see. So this nice bright pink. And I'm just gonna get this thing painted. Again, with the Sharpie line. Get that covered. I did switch to a bigger brush. That's a big space. And then I'm gonna do this flower down here. I'm gonna do the petals bright pink. I'm gonna lighten them a little. So just stir in a little bit more white. And get all these petals done. I gotta flip so I can get that bottom part. Okay, I'm gonna give this a quick one. Oh wait, let's do our little dots here. We'll get them, let's hit them with just some white. Use my smaller brush. I am gonna just blast it quick because I overlapped and I need to get them real close to that, and I don't want them turning blue. Oh look, and I forgot to do this too. Jeepers. Okay, so these little dots I'm just gonna paint white. I got my smaller brush. I'm gonna do my best to kind of fix up my boo-boo. They're just gonna overlap on a little. It'll be fine. In the center, I'm just gonna do basically red. My bigger brush cleaned. So I'm gonna start off with some red. Just get that filled in. And I want it a little bit darker, kind of right in here. I don't know if you can see because of the lip of the easel, so I'm gonna flip it. It's easier for me anyway. And then I'm just gonna take just a tiny bit of blue on my brush. It's dirty. And in this area, closer to the corner, is going to darken it up a little. And it is just the tiniest little dab of blue. So it's kind of like this color here. Okay, now we have our base coat on every object on the canvas. I am going to hit it with the blow dryer because I'm going to be layering paint on top to get more designs and more detail in. Okay, so let's start. I don't know. Let's just do some white. Let's do some white because we're gonna have to probably kind of prime areas that we want different colors anyway. So we're just gonna do some white. So I've got my smaller brush. Here you can see it better. Just some white paint. And I'm just gonna put a little stripe in here and make sure you kind of get your line curved. So it curves with the same curve that was drawn on. And it can be fairly thick. It'd be about like that. And I'm gonna leave a space of pink around the edge and just come in. So same shape, just smaller within. And I'm just taking white, get a nice, medium-sized line. I'm just spreading out my globs, smoothing them. My line just gets a little thicker every time. So about like that, sure. Let's do like a circle in here. Maybe a little swoop across the top. Like that. Let's do some little dots down the side, help it kind of look like Paisley. And I'm gonna go around over top of my black. I would probably do better with my bigger brush. I just do better with a bigger brush. I'm just going where that marker line is. It's not all the way to the center. Flip so I can reach that bottom one. And I'm gonna do a real thick line on the edge here into the red. And let's do a little swirl inside of this. Maybe come around the edge a little. Do a swirl on that one. I'm going to get my real stain brush so I can get some detailing lines in, just with some white paint. Around the edge of this purple one, I'm just going to do little dash marks. Let's see. Maybe in here, some little marks. And on the other side of that white stripe, maybe a few little lines. I don't know. I'm just going in and adding some fun little bits. I feel like around, I'm gonna use my bigger brush. I want to go around this a little bit more, the pink ones, because I think I want to put some yellow, and I want that white to be a little thicker. So I'm just gonna thicken that up a little, just around the outside edge. Probably hit that with another coat since I'm right here. Maybe some paint on my brush would be helpful. Okay, now I'm going to start with some other colors. Let's make a nice bright green. So I'm going to use the turquoise and the yellow. I'm going to take some, well, I don't need that much. Some turquoise, a little less. Start in with a lot of yellow. Get this nice bright green, and I need to add quite a bit of white. Now we see it's quite yellowy. I can add a little bit more turquoise to just get it a little bit greener. Just a little. So that looks nice. And with this green, let's go around. I just got a big old blob on my hand somehow. Get that off. Let's put some green on this swirly guy. Should probably use a smaller brush. I just kind of went around the edge there. Let's come down this edge here. I'm going to come around the outside. I might need to thicken that up a little so that red isn't showing through. Let's take it on the blue. I'm going to add a little bit more white just because it's not getting the best coverage. It's still showing the other colors through fairly easily. So if I just add a little bit more white in, it'll help block color from underneath. Just a little bit more. I got some red in my brush. I'm just stirring that on in too. It's because it wasn't quite clean. And let's come around the edges of our blue flower a little. Try to get that Sharpie line covered. And that's good for the green. Sure, why not? How about purple? Let's use some purple. I still have a little bit of my purple that I used here. I'm gonna make a little bit more. I'm just gonna stir a little bit more red and blue together. Add some white. It's not exactly the same, but that's all right. Just kind of a shade of purple, whatever you got. And maybe kind of swirl inside of these petals. Just a little swoop. I like it. Do some nice bright yellow. Just making this up. Who knows what's gonna happen. Nice bright yellow. So I got some yellow. Let me get over here. I'm gonna add a little bit of white because I need it to have good coverage. The white, again, blocks out the colors beneath. At least it helps. We don't have to do several coats. And when we just do swoops, we don't want to have to try to swoop again in the exact same location because it's just quick. So yellow, it's still bright, not as bright, but it'll read as nice bright yellow. I'm gonna cover this white spot, this stripe, make that yellow. This stripe, let's get that yellow. It's just more, looks better, nice and bright. And let's go around the edge of our yellow flower. How about just kind of on the inside? Kind of overlapping on the white and on the red. I don't know if you can see. So I'm kind of on the white and on the red. Nice thick stripe. And let's go around the outside edges too. Going right on the white for the most part. It's okay if you overlap onto the, oops, I got green somehow. So how about that? I like it. And maybe a little yellow up in our blue flower. How about on those petals? We get a little swoopy. Well, right next to our purple. Maybe a little swoop here. Just whatever. Okay, back to my little brush. Not the super skinny one, but my little square brush. Let's add a blue circle to our pink paisley. So it's the same blue turquoisey color that I've painted here, here, and here. How did I get a big old green thing there? What is happening? So let's just put a nice blue circle in that. And how about on our pink flower, let's put some blue swoops. And where I have the yellow and the white, maybe little blue dots kind of right in between. Then I'm gonna come in with, this one needs some loving. Let's get some pink on him. Cleaning out my brush. So I've got my bright pink here. I'm just gonna lighten a little area of it. So a little bit there. Just added a little bit of white. How about a swirl inside of our white circle? And let's swoop. Yeah, that looks better. Let's get some color on these white dots too. Help us cover those Sharpie lines. And then let's do a little bit of, how about a little green? Let's get a little green in those. And in here, I feel like it needs something, maybe a little more pink. These are my lighter pink. Doesn't really matter, whatever shade. Let's get some pink in this. And a little pink on this. Okay, I'm gonna blow it dry just because I want to put some stuff up here and it's looking pretty wet. So I'm just gonna take a little brush and some white paint. Got my liner brush. And I'm gonna put in some more swooping. It's kind of like outlining a little, adding a little bit more detail. How about some dots? Probably the back side of the brush would be better, especially because this is so little. The back side of the brush, just dip it in some paint and dab it on, and you get nice little perfect dots. Just adding in some little bit of details. Maybe some dots in that too. You can put little dots wherever you want. I am going to use the back end because those are too tiny. And this does work better. Back end of the brush. Let me tidy up these ones. Let's get these bigger. Just be careful because these little dots take a little bit longer to dry because they're thick. So don't go resting your hand on them. I'll probably do it now that I said don't. Well, I rested my hand on something. Some blue. Let me try to just wipe that off a little. There's just a little wet spot on my towel. Just damp. It's better. Not perfect, but better. Oh, I just got paint on my face because I forgot. I dabbed the back end. Oh boy. Okay. can add more of these if you like, whatever you want. It's just fun to go in and add the little detailed parts. I'm going to do a little bit of white on the blue flower, and I'm going to say I'm done, I think. So just with my skinny little liner brush, I'm just going to put a little white swoops on. Just to brighten that up a little. There. I think I'm done. Sign my name. A little water in my brush. Down here in that dark red, I'm going to just kind of hide my name maybe with a little dark red. Maybe make it a little bit bluer. So blue and red stirred together, and you can sign your name in whatever color you like. I just kind of like make it subtle so it doesn't become a focal point and just kind of hides. There, all done. When you're done, when you guys are done, take pictures and post to my Facebook page, Willy-Nilly. I have a pinned post right on the very top. You'll be able to find it easy. And if you can't for some reason, you can just post as a visitor right on the page, and I'll be notified and be able to check it out that way too. So either way, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.